Have you ever felt like no matter how much you do, it's never enough? Like you're constantly chasing something, trying to prove your worth, trying to reach an invisible standard that always seems just out of reach. Maybe you've spent years working harder, doing more, striving to be better, thinking that once you finally achieve enough, once you'll finally meet that expectation, then you'll feel worthy. Then you'll feel like you deserve happiness, success, love. But no matter what you do, that feeling never truly comes. This belief, this fear of not being good enough, something so many people carry, often without even realizing it. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's just a whisper in the back of your mind. The hesitation before you speak up, the doubt before you take action. The voice that tells you, who do you think you are? It's subtle, but it's powerful. It keeps you from taking the chances that could change your life. It keeps you from stepping fully into your potential. It keeps you in a cycle of proving, pleasing, and perfecting, thinking that one day you'll finally feel like you're enough. But where does this come from? Because you weren't born with it. No baby comes into this world thinking, I have to earn my worth. This belief is learned. Maybe it started in childhood, from the way you were spoken to, from the expectations placed on you, from feeling like you had to achieve to be loved or accepted. Maybe it developed over time, through rejection, criticism, comparison moments that made you question your value, and eventually it became a pattern, a subconscious program running in the background, shaping how you see yourself and what you believe is possible for you. And this belief doesn't just affect one area of your life. It shows up everywhere. It's the reason people settle for less in relationships, afraid they're not worthy of more. It's the reason people stay in unfulfilling jobs, doubting whether they're capable of something greater. It's the reason so many struggle with money, feeling guilty for wanting more, feeling like success is for others but not for them. And worst of all, it's the reason people never truly feel at peace within themselves, because no matter how much they do, no matter how much they achieve, it never feels like enough. But here's the truth. You are enough. You always have been. You always will be. The only thing that needs to change is the belief that tells you otherwise. And this belief is not your truth. It's just a mental program, one that can be rewritten. So how do you break free from it? First, recognize it. Awareness is the first step. Pay attention to the moments when this belief shows up. When do you doubt yourself? When do you hesitate? When do you feel like you have to prove something? Notice it. Because once you see it, you can start to question it. Second, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really true? Who told you that you weren't enough? Where did this belief come from? And if you hadn't learned this, if no one had ever made you feel like you had to prove your worth, who would you be? Because that version of you still exists. That version of you is still inside you. The one who knows their worth. The one who doesn't need external validation to feel whole. Third, stop looking for proof outside of you. Because here's the thing. If you're always looking for something external to make you feel worthy, you'll never find it. No amount of success, no amount of approval, no amount of validation will ever be enough if deep down you don't believe you're enough. You have to decide. You have to choose to see yourself differently. And finally, reprogram your mind. Because this belief wasn't created overnight. And it won't disappear overnight either. It's been wired into your subconscious for years, maybe even decades. That's why deep change happens at the subconscious level. Because when you rewrite the program, everything shifts. Confidence stops feeling like something you have to force, it becomes natural. Self-worth stops being something you have vetoed, it becomes who you are. This is what happens with Marinella's mind code. It's not about forcing change. It's about making change inevitable. When the subconscious mind is reprogrammed, the struggle disappears, and transformation happens effortlessly. This belief of not being enough doesn't have to follow you for the rest of your life. It can be rewritten. It can be erased. And when that happens, everything shifts. So let me ask you, where in your life has this belief been holding you back? How much has it already cost you in missed opportunities, in stress, in self-doubt? And are you finally ready to let it go?